We are live. Except we won't be live when you watch this because we're recording.
That's right. Welcome to the Walrus and Comics Sports Podcast. Brett, we tried to do this episode earlier in the week, and I'll be honest with you, you were god-awful. So we had to redo it. And this time, there's a bonus. We get to add good old Nicholas here with us. Back from the coronavirus. Back from the dead.
Hello.
He's here. And he's real.
I haven't been dead at all. I've been working every day.
Oh, well,
He's been dead.
yeah, Brett's been telling everyone who
Yeah,
listens to the podcast you're dead and had the virus.
Also,
But he's recovered now.
you think stuff's stupid.
What?
You like your ability thing?
And
You
as you
changed
can
it.
see there, Nick's kind of distracted right now
Yeah.
playing Smite.
No, I'm still
he's trying to
talking.
teach Brett actually how to be good, which is probably would be better if we were doing an episode of Squawking and Talking because I feel like it actually goes with the theme there. But since we're doing sports, it doesn't really make
also,
sense.
Smite is one of the biggest esports.
Yeah.
I guess we got to talk about esports
One of
now.
the largest esports.
This man talks about wrestling for 45 minutes if you let him in
Smite.
esports.
Hey, we're going to talk about
Alright,
some wrestling
alright.
today, actually.
Battlefield of the
Well, I
Gods.
should leave.
We will definitely
Because
talk about
what
some
you know,
wrestling.
we're talking about wrestling. I think Eli Manning is the Batista of the NFL.
Oh, yeah, Manning's trash.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me you don't think Eli Manning's that good?
No
Why
one
not?
thinks that.
Neither man deserves to be in their respective Hall of Fames.
2 Super Bowls. That qualifies you.
Stop
Rigged.
That qualifies you.
Rigged.
Super Bowl. Stop.
Super Bowls, like, that's a qualifier, man. Like,
It is
makes
a-
your path easier if you're a quarterback.
It is an absolute shame that he won 2 Super Bowls, so now Manning fans have an excuse to go,
I don't know how to play
Listen.
your thing.
because he was not that good.
He was pretty solid. I mean, he was above
When?
average, a little above average. The 2 years he won the Super Bowl. Now, he was anchored by a really strong defense for those teams. I understand
He
that.
had.
I understand that. But he played more than well enough to be able to win those Super Bowls.
It's just strange an undefeated Patriot season starts dropping passes, can't complete catches. How's that
You want
work,
another-
Ron?
you want-
Did you play any sports in high school, Nick?
I did.
What did you play?
I play a little football.
A little bit of football? Did you get on the field a lot?
A little.
A little bit?
You want another
You know,
wrestling?
how many times did you blow plays?
You know another
We
wrestling?
weren't the Patriots in an undefeated
Is
season.
that-
Andrews
But that-
Yellows.
yeah.
Yeah, the Andrews
that
All
doesn't-
Stars,
that
baby.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't actually change the higher up you go in the ladder of
Listen.
sports. Like, big time games
Listen.
can give you big time belly aches.
Would you like another?
Did you play an undefeated Patriots season?
No,
Were you good
I played on an almost winless Georgetown Bulldog season.
And this man is reading you the right. Yeah, let me tell you something.
Hey, as a coach, that's the perspective I can give you, man. You know, and you advertise the fact that hey, I'm a
He's a
coach.
professional track coach.
Yeah.
I could be.
You know, let me just tell you what my people do running. Let me just.
Can I give you another wrestling analogy?
Go ahead.
He won the Giants the Super Bowl like Marty Jannetty made the Rockers good.
That's it. That's hilarious. Actually, I like that.
The Giants need Eli Manning just like the
Well,
Rockers needed Marty
think about this.
Jannetty.
Think about this. Think about how much time.
Agree or disagree?
Listen, but honestly, think about this.
That's an agree.
How long?
Yeah.
How long was Eli
just
Manning a
almost
member of the
say
Giants? How many years was he a member of the
Was it-
Giants?
10?
15 or 16?
Oh, was it? I was going to
I
say
think it was
10 or
like
12.
That just tells you everything you know. No
Yeah,
one knows
like-
how long he was a Giant.
So there's
Yeah, you
some
ask
reason.
anybody that question, like, I don't know.
There's a reason why he was there so long. It's because
Because his name.
Yeah, because he's a
it
Manning.
is partly due to his name.
Because he's
yes.
a Manning.
But
Because,
he could go out and win
because
the game.
I can't be
Yeah.
the guy. Because
Yeah.
I can't be the guy to release a Manning while we have a winning record.
It's not that. The guy could actually go out if you needed one drive to win the game.
He
had
threw
the
interceptions
capabilities.
at ridiculous times when
Yeah,
there
but-
wasn't even a window.
Thinking of this. Think of this. How many times did he have a great offensive line? Hardly any. How many times did he have more than one great receiver? Hardly any. Most of the times it was only one good receiver at a time. Their offensive line was always hurt or really bad. Right? The best thing they had was running backs that went for them. Okay? And then their defense. All of that can't be like pinned on Eli Manning.
Thank you, Marty Jannetty. Agree or disagree with that analogy?
I mean, I can agree. I can agree to an extent with it.
Please just let me be right that he's right.
No, I'm not saying that I have to be right in this, but I think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. I think he's more of a Hall of Famer than Dave Bautista, though.
Bautista,
But Bautista comes from one of your favorite factions of all time, Evolution.
I was a Randy Orton man.
Yeah, but you're an Evolution man, which means you're a Bautista man.
Randy Orton is way more of a Hall of Famer than Batista was.
100%, because...
I mean, that Triple H.
Yeah. You know what? All right, Nick.
He's
Nick,
good.
I'm curious. In your limited wrestling experience, who would you rate the top 4 wrestlers of all time?
We've actually spoken of this lately.
We speak of it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
We're going to speak of it here.
I'm
Speak of it
focusing. I know you aren't talking as much as you.
I'm saying
anything about things. Undertaker, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels.
One more spot.
Boy, cool, it's smacking me down. I killed him though.
Did more than Brett can do.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, Undertaker,
Shawn
Michaels.
So far, it's a respectable top 3.
Triple H or Stone Cold.
See, I like Triple H.
Yours is very close to mine.
Yeah. So, like, I was just curious from a not huge wrestling standpoint. And those are names that most people who were not, like, big
I was
wrestling fans
big
would
back
know.
in the day until I got stupid in, like, mid-2000s.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that at all, actually. So, yeah. So, it makes sense that your people are the people that you chose because they were
They made
great,
that era.
great attitude era people. And Ric Flair's just expands, like, 40 years. So, like...
yeah, Ric Flair
Like...
is from the 80s to today. Everybody
Which,
knows
how
who he
funny
is.
do you think it is, Nick, that Ric Flair doesn't include himself on his own Mount Rushmore?
Well, you can't. Is he a
You think he
cocksucker?
I mean, you really think he can't? I mean,
The top
you are...
4.
All right, you are...
He did say he wanted to. He was like, I feel like I should put myself in the top.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
like saying Michael Jordan won't put himself in his top 4. Michael Jordan...
People
He's
won't.
got something.
Yeah, but he's the greatest of all time.
Don't you remember he brought a Hitler stash trying to bring it back?
I do not remember that.
In all the Hanes commercials?
Oh, I don't think I really paid attention. I don't
Yeah.
watch too many commercials.
Guess what sport is in the news?
Who?
NASCAR.
What they
Oh,
do?
boy. Oh, boy.
A lot of hard R's going around in NASCAR, buddy.
Yeah, so Kyle Larson, is that what you're referring to?
Kyle
right now?
Larson. They've been doing, apparently they have been streaming some kind of iRacing game.
Yeah. It's like a simulator, I think.
Yeah.
He sits in something, it's
And-
just like a real life.
And you have, I didn't know that you have a spotter and everything. Like, they do the whole thing like a real
Yeah.
race. And apparently he lost
Boy,
communications with his spotter. Or he thought he lost communications with his spotter. And he's trying to get his attention back. So he says, "Can you hear me?"
But that's not all he says.
No, he says, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me right now?" And he doesn't get an answer. And the next time he says, "Can you hear me?" And there's a slight pause, and then he drops a huge N-bomb with a very hard R.
Yeah, that's definitely unacceptable, especially in a sport where NASCAR is trying to. Well, you think about this. They're trying to diversify, right?
They're trying to not
They're
be.
trying to say, "Hey, we're not a redneck sport."
Wow.
You know, like you can appreciate us, you New Yorker. You know, you can like us too, you California.
Well, I can tell everybody I'm not small, but guess what I am?
Hey, listen. No, I understand, but that. Can you imagine?
These are slowing me.
And you know, this probably we talked about this, but this probably actually happens more than we think.
100%.
It's just it doesn't get sent out there. But the only reason this one got out there, right, is it was live, correct?
See, you say that, and I don't know because I just thought at races you see people with headsets on.
Yeah.
And they have a thing you can get at races where you can listen in on their radio communications. And I guess maybe it does happen because I bet if some hillbilly is sitting there listening to the race and all the NASCAR drivers are dropping N-bombs, he's just sitting there going, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." He's not going to tell on anybody.
Yeah.
So maybe it does happen.
Isn't it
I
more common than you think in every facet of
100%.
life?
It's more, yeah.
Yeah, it
You got
definitely probably does happen more. And I think when you're live like that, NASCAR had to step in. And we're talking about a guy who has lost his whole future, right?
Yeah.
Like
He made $9 million last year. He was set to make more than $9 million in a year, which is
crazy.
I think it's great for a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Not really big on NASCAR and what they make, but I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if I got paid $9 million to do something a year, I think I'd be all right.
I think he was on the high end of what they make.
Yeah. And that, man,
the best response to that was he dropped it, right?
Yeah.
And there's a silence, and then his spotter comes up and he's like, and he says, "Hey, bud, we're live. Everybody can hear you." And Kyle Larson says nothing else. You hear nothing out of it.
I said, "Yeah, I know." So I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Did he say?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said, "Yeah, I know." Well, he said, we're live, right?"
I know one of them came on and said, "Yikes."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did hear that.
Another spotter chimed in and said, "Yikes."
Yeah. At that moment, Kyle Larson realized he just lost his job.
Yeah.
And, I mean, rightfully so. You can't stand for those things, especially in, I guess, the society that we live in. I would say it's unfortunate, but you're live. You've got to be conscious of everything you say, right? But for most of us in a society where if you're in a professional setting, you have to be very careful about a lot of things you say. All right, there's certain things I can't say. Even though we're doing this podcast,
you've never said that teaching?
Do I? I've never said that teaching.
All right.
And I can tell you, if I did say that teaching, it would probably have been recorded, and I would have lost my job, and I would have been on the front page of the newspaper. And
I don't know if that's
I'll be honest.
News.
If you're a teacher and you get arrested for a DUI, they put you on the front page.
I won't fire you for that.
I appreciate it, but I can't afford to live my life doing just this podcast. I actually have to
anybody?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably fire you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to go work with Nick. I don't want to do that. That's hard work. That's real work. I don't want to go do that sweaty work.
He pretends to
wear
teach kids.
Wear a little Coastal Structure shirt with some nice tight pants and work boots, so nothing crushes my toes.
It's getting real weird.
Get a nice suntan. Look at these muscles. I mean, I
I'm
could do with
listening
those
to him
muscles.
I'm listening to him thinking, there's no damn way they let somebody like this educate.
I would rather him say what Kyle Larson said than teach my children.
Yeah,
look
like
at
I would rather him just walk into class and be like, "Can y'all hear me?" Then
I mean, obviously my teaching ability is not that great because I taught you and you're still a dumbass.
Oh,
So it's just
Alright, so that's how you feel about your students. That's the kind of things you say to them.
That's how I feel about my former students.
Somebody clip that and send it to the superintendent.
Oh, please don't. I need my job.
I'm kidding.
I need my job. If I get fired, I'll cry. Oh man, it's a tough life we live in. But no, I saw that you sent me that clip. Actually, I had not even heard about it, which I'm surprised. I haven't seen too much exposure from it. Like, did the ESPN cover it? Like,
no. Well, yeah, there was a very short.
Yeah, like who cares about NASCAR? That's I think what it boils down to be honest with you, right?
It was on First Take, and Stephen A. Smith said he deserves a second chance.
Hey, if Stephen A. says you deserve a second chance, by God, give Kyle Larson a second chance, I guess. But no, it's crazy, man. That's insane. So one thing we got to talk about, Brett, is the NFL draft just happened. But how about before the first round happened? How about before that though? Tom Brady and the Tom Brady Buccaneers make a move, a big splash, and they trade New England for Gronkowski, right? That's a big deal.
Oh, man.
You're talking about one of the top 10 tight ends of all time. I'll put him top 10. I won't put him top 5. Because I think it's 5 people better, at least. But I'll put him like top 10 of all time. He's the outlet. If he stays healthy, we're talking about he can swing you 2 or 3 more wins per year.
Yeah.
I think easily. And with who they
I'll
already
give him
have
11
there.
and 5 now.
You give him 11 and 5? That's pretty generous.
I'll give him 11 and 5 with Gronkowski.
And if Gronkowski stays healthy and they limit him, because they don't need him to play. They don't need him to play every down though. They've got a tight end that's already really good there. And
that update changed my settings.
No, I did. I'm gonna change it back.
Think about.
That's probably why you do so bad.
That's what Coochie told me to set him to.
Coogie's not good. Why is that still your go-to? I don't want to listen to him, but he said I should have my
All right,
settings.
go ahead, Ron.
Oh, I was just waiting on you guys to have your little talk about settings and
Look at
stuff.
that. Look at
Yeah.
smacking Kakulin.
Look at that. Smacking him.
Yeah.
But no, so Tom Brady, he's going to have a lineup that's going to be crazy on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that I think we saw one of the ESPN people, one of the first take, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how basically the Buccaneers just had the Patriots in a situation where they couldn't really say no.
Yeah.
Because the Patriots couldn't go trade Gronkowski or anyone else. So they got what they could for him, which is a 4th-round pick, which could actually turn into a 5th-round pick, which would be even worse for them. But I guess they do get something out of it. But the Patriots are going to, golly, if they win 7 games this year, it's going to surprise me, Brett. I'm going to be really serious with you.
If who?
If the Patriots
Oh,
win
Patriots.
7. You know, like I don't know who their quarterback. I mean, if they go get Cam Newton, hey, they might win a few games. If they get Jameis Winston, they're probably going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
And there's not too many crazy, like, there's not really many good quarterbacks I want to draft from this draft.
I was still on the boat. I was still on the thinking that what in the world was I about to say? You know, I was pulling up the draft and I had a brain fart.
But how about the Panthers? Their 1st-round pick, they went defense, which we know the Panthers need help on the defensive front, right?
Oh my God.
Well, they went after a guy who I'm really high on actually. So it's a defensive tackle from Auburn, Derek Brown. Derek Brown was a monster. I mean, he blew up offensive lines all around the SEC, especially Alabama. I think he had a really good game, like 7 tackles, 3 for loss against Alabama. That's pretty solid from a defensive tackle perspective when you think their offensive linemen go to the NFL. So I think that's a really good pick for the Panthers. They just, who knows how they're going to do this
You
year.
know whose pick I liked?
Who?
The 49ers.
Oh,
the
man.
San Francisco 49ers getting the boy.
The 49ers did a lot, I feel like, in this round. They moved around a lot.
Yeah,
because
they made a lot of moves.
They took Kinlaw, right, at 14, and then they moved back up to 25 to get another guy. So they, apparently they felt like they needed to do, to do a little bit more to get to that Super Bowl.
I'm gonna make a prediction here.
Okay.
I think Kinlaw outperforms Ingram and Clowney in the NFL.
Oh man, I hope so. I think he's got more motivation to do.
I think Kinlaw is better than Ingram or Clowney from South Carolina.
But Ingram is really good. He's
Ingram's
the most
so
consistent.
good for the Chargers.
He's the most consistent.
Is he
player
still with the Chargers?
Yeah, he's still there. Man.
Yeah,
he signed an extension, like $40 million.
That's
extension.
the tandem. Him and Ohio State boy.
Bosa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were a threat.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Kinlaw is gonna be better.
I like. All right, how about this? I kind of like the Dolphins taking a chance on Tua. They went 2 out of 5.
That was
like I like
that was
it.
Weird.
I like it though. You know what they talked about? They talked about how the Miami Dolphins passed up on a hurt Drew Brees, a shoulder injury. They kept them from draft, and now they're doing this. So they kind of probably had to do it because they just didn't.
Because we burned ourselves last time.
Well, they were talking about Tua and his ability. Like he doesn't have to be a move around person. His pocket passing is precise. And they said one of the most precise they've seen come out in the draft. So they even said though, like they don't think he's going to be ready this year. They say they just want him to kind of learn. But we know how the NFL is impatient. But at least they followed it up too, though. They had to pick at 5, and then they picked again at 18. They got Austin Jackson at 18.
I want to go back. You didn't let me stay long enough. I wanted to focus here on Kinlaw, man.
Okay.
Because
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you wanted to say.
We got to see him live.
Yeah.
All right. Not only did we get to see him live,
and he played injured a lot.
For the local fans here, we went to, as you know, they have the Gamecock Walk at home games. And we were front row.
That's right.
And he was very easily, by a few inches, the largest person on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
you remember that? Like, it was that one guy that walked by that was a lot bigger than the rest of them.
Yeah.
That was Kinlaw.
Yeah. But it's crazy. He played at Goose Creek, right?
Massive.
He played in the Low Country, Goose Creek High School, but he grew up homeless.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he grew up homeless in Washington D.C.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a whole big thing about him. Like ESPN was covering it a ton, actually his homelessness and stuff. So there was a lot of people rooting for this guy. There was a lot of
I think he's gonna be good.
Like, listen, I think that he's got a lot to prove. And when he did that squat, that thing he showed off, like, listen, he's an animal.
It was.
I couldn't be more happy for him. And the 49ers that's a great position to go to. That's not a bad team. Jimmy Garoppolo. You got your boy Debo there. Listen.
Yep.
You got the tight end.
Don't they have Chris Culver? Is he still there?
He might still be there. He's an old dude, man. You think about Chris Culver's been in the league a long time.
And he was good for a while for the 49ers. Like, he was
he
could play for the 49ers for a while.
Listen, he came out of that Steve Spurrier crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one that...
The one that should have won a national
title.
The one that there was no reason they shouldn't won a national championship.
Chris Culver, Steven Garcia, Marcus Lattimore, Alshon Jeffrey, Melvin Ingram, Jesus Christ, the fullback.
They were stacked.
Yeah, that team should have won a national title.
Stacked.
Yeah,
they had.
Nick Saban coaches that team, national title.
They had a quarterback.
Davos Swinney coaches that team. Yeah, I know.
Don't you remember last time we were trying to say same points and we said,
oh yeah, I remember.
Hey, let's
see Spurrier.
A part of growing up is just realizing certain things.
I remember.
I still say that was the greatest time to be a Carolina fan. It was the most exciting. Oh yeah. Yeah, but the more I thought about it,
if that team wins a national championship, let's just play with it, and that team goes undefeated and it wins a national championship. That's one of the greatest college football rosters of all time.
Yeah.
But it isn't because it didn't. Right? Like, nobody is going to talk about it now because they never really got there. But you tell me, if they go and win a national championship...
But they live in infamy for upsetting number 1 Alabama.
If they go and win a national championship, give me a better college football roster than that one right there.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you can make a claim.
They had almost an NFL roster they had on the field.
Apparently Ohio State did too, because the top 3 picks last night draft all played for Ohio State in 2017.
Well, let's not get him started on Ohio.
Yeah, you can.
Ohio.
Hey, I do want to talk about
Ohio State.
I do want to talk
about the Buckeyes.
I want to talk about my team real quick.
They're much better than the Gamecocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk about my team real quick. The Minnesota Vikings. I feel like with our first draft pick, we didn't screw up.
I'm sure you and all 5 of their fans are going to love this.
Yeah. We didn't screw up.
Woo!
Hey, we know that the draft is like it can be one of the most stressful things.
I don't care what happened in the draft. Y'all kept Kirk Cousins, but go ahead.
Listen, you know what? I'm moving off of that train. Kirk Cousins has a new weapon to throw to. LSU wide receiver Justin Jefferson.
So that's all of a sudden going to help him have the talent to get it there.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
He's got a new weapon.
You know, we were talking about moving our first round pick to get OBJ. But the Browns backed out of it, I think, last minute. But I want you to hear this. We had 2 picks in the first round, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, because you know why? We shot Stephon Diggs away. We sent him away to the Buffalo Bills so he can die in his career. Because no receiver flourishes at the Bills.
I think they're going to be an AFC Championship team this year.
Well, yeah, because the New England Patriots aren't there to stop them with Tom Brady.
No, I think the Buffalo Bills were going to be better than the Patriots this year.
No way. No.
100%.
With Tom Brady,
did you see them last year?
Their quarterback's terrible.
They were a decent team. With now they have a weapon. Now they have a real elite weapon. They didn't have an elite weapon last year.
All right. Listen. I think they will win the AFC in that division.
I think
no team's going to be
AFC Championship game against the Chiefs is the Bills and the Chiefs AFC Championship game.
God.
Bills and Chiefs.
That just sounds like such a terrible game.
Sounds like a strange game.
Yeah, like it sounds like the Chiefs are going to blow
sounds
them
like
out
we're in the
by
80s.
60. Yeah. Sounds like the Chiefs are going to win by like 80. Oh man.
It sounds like we're in the 80s.
I don't think
Bills
anyone.
and the Chiefs.
I don't see the Chiefs slowing down.
No.
I just don't.
For a while when the Super Bowl first ended, I think I told you in the Super Bowl when it first ended, I told you next year's going to be a repeat. Next year's going to be 49ers Chiefs too.
Yeah, I could see it. I just don't like the 49ers. Even though, the more I think about it, probably the more we should be 49er fans. Because they always draft Carolina players.
I think I'm going to stick to that.
Yeah?
I think I'm going to double down. Because I was so sure when that Super Bowl ended when playoffs happened the way they happened and everything happened, I was like, man, those really are the best two teams in the league that just played in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And those two didn't lose a lot, and 49ers had a decent first night at the draft, had a good first night in the draft. I'd rate it a B, B+. I think they did good. I think I doubled down on it. I think the Super Bowl is going to be Chiefs and 49ers too next year.
I think the 49ers are going all in for this year, especially. And I think that's why they're making the moves they are. I like the picks. However, I want to talk about your second favorite team, the Green Bay
They're
Packers.
number one, baby. On
Yeah,
my
there's
list.
number one.
Oh, they're number one now?
Two.
Okay.
Now.
So,
He knows. Why don't you?
Because I don't care what anybody else has to say. It's all about my opinions
Well,
and the
actually,
Vikings.
really and truly, it's just because you guys, don't y'all cuddle together or something?
Why does he make
That couch
everything
right there?
with buddies just
I mean,
weird?
I don't know.
You guys
It's just
spend...
us. We
You
hang out.
guys
We're in a
spend,
band together.
y'all spend
we're in a
way
band.
more. Y'all spend way more time together than me and Brad do.
We're in a band.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Then why are you saying, but
You'll kiss. Don't you? You'll kiss.
Well, I never said that. If y'all do that, that's,
We-
hey,
on
listen.
the, on
this
the
is-
lips, boy.
This is
You and
2020.
Danny probably
Go ahead,
do.
right here then. Kiss for everyone on the screen.
I don't feel like it.
They don't get to see what we do.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so
I'm not
your
letting him in on my
your
life.
number one favorite team. Did you know? Do
He
you
wants
know,
us to kiss on the lips, but I couldn't say it. Never mind.
do you know
He
what
just
they
wants to for
did?
his own jollies.
Do you know what they did in the first round? You don't know, do you? You didn't even follow the draft, did you?
If I kiss
Here
on
you go.
if we kiss on lips, can I say whatever word I want to?
No.
Can I go back and do
Yeah.
that joke?
Not at all. All right, at number 26 in round one,
He makes
the
a
Green
lot of
Bay
homophobic
Packers
jokes.
selected.
Quarterback from Utah State.
Yeah, Jordan Love.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Aaron, the same way Aaron Rodgers probably feels about it.
What do you think that is?
What? And I was just like, what are they planning? What are they
A lot of
planning?
people like it. A lot of people
I
are liking
do.
the move.
Here, you know what I think of Aaron Rodgers?
You think that they think he? Well, this might be a
You
thing
know my
where they,
opinion on Aaron
they might
Rodgers.
think he's the person who takes over for Aaron.
You know my opinion on Aaron Rodgers, don't you? Or
Not really.
I like him. He's an elite quarterback, but I don't like the guy.
Okay.
Like, I wish we had a different elite quarterback.
You just don't like his personality.
Right, I don't like the guy. He
Okay.
whines much too much.
Yeah, for you.
Nothing is his fault.
Yeah, he got Mike McCarthy fired, right?
Like, nothing is his
Nice.
fault. He can't just say, I had a bad night. We're
Ooh.
complaining. We're complaining about Nick playing a game during the podcast. Can't even see it. Can't hear him clicking on the controller. It sounds like he's over here opening CO2 canisters. Why are you playing video games?
Hey,
During
I
our game.
had to get a little swallow of pop, as the Northerners
Gotta
would
get
say.
I gotta get a swallow.
A little
Yeah.
swallow.
A swaller.
A swallow.
Gotta get a swaller. I just I have always got the impression, being a Packers fan, that nothing's his fault.
How much longer do you think that Aaron Rodgers has in Green Bay?
2 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
2 years? That's a pretty quick answer. I thought you would actually have to think about it more, but
2 years.
I mean, if you feel that confident about it, I think they think that this guy is the Jordan Love is the guy
How
who's
long
going
you
to take over
think?
for him. I give him how old is he? 35?
I want to say 36 or 7.
Is he really that old? Has he really been in that league that long? He has been in the league a long time.
Wasn't he on the bench when Brett Favre was there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He took over for Brett Favre.
That's what I thought.
So
I want to say.
2007.
I mean, I could be wrong here.
Was he in the 2006 draft?
36 years old.
36.
Yeah, he's 36.
All right, I could see him playing 4 more years.
4.
I could see that.
You going
I could
4.
see. I
All
could
right,
see
I'm
him
at
to
2.
40.
Tom Brady set precedents for old quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady's a 1 in a million.
He is, but I feel like now a lot of them are getting the confidence.
Yeah.
You know, I can
Drew
stay
Brees
longer.
can do it.
I think Tom Brady, just like his however he's built his
personal
just
yoga trainer.
whatever his DNA, whatever that is, it was just specially built.
TB12.
Yeah.
Like, was just specially built to make it.
I think
his
he's a-
genes were
I
just
think it's a
built to make
cyborg.
it to the.
I think he's a
old-
cyborg. I think he's got some type of he's
Wait,
not real, man. He's not real. Have you ever seen him bleed?
Does he often have? How many knife fights does Tom Brady get into? You think?
Hey,
Oh,
people
hi.
bleed on the football field. But no,
Nobody ever sees
I-
him bleed.
I think that this is a unique generation of quarterbacks where we see them last in the older age. I think. I mean, like, think about it. Drew Brees will. Tom Brady will. Philip Rivers got another year.
I would be with you if we didn't see such a drastic fall off in Aaron Rodgers' play.
Do you think he's really fallen off, or
he was much less?
What? All right. So
the running back our running back got us where we were.
What weapons did he have to throw to this year? They lost a lot.
Yeah.
Cobb left. Like I think Cobb was very underrated for you guys, and maybe it's because he's an SEC player, played University of Kentucky, but I think that he was a good player. I think you guys lost a lot at the wide receiver position, didn't you? You had the one new guy that everyone really liked.
See, but my problem here too is like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are two of those guys.
Team.
They're two of those guys that, like, when they get it done, it's all on them. They did it. They're elite. Blah 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 blah. But when they don't have enough weapons, it's not their fault.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I think that's because we're so used.
If you're good enough, you're good enough.
We're so used to the superstars being just being the face of everything, right? Like Peyton Manning, he had one receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the majority of his career, Reggie Wayne, right? It was Peyton and Reggie, and Peyton got you all those wins on his own back. Reggie was a product of being with a great quarterback.
I think
but he was also a great receiver. Tom Brady has made a history out of no-name receivers catching balls from him that become household names, right? Julian Edelman on any other team, I don't think
there's not much. He has not much.
I think if Julian Edelman was on the Panthers, he would already been cut.
Yeah, no, he's not much.
But just because of the relationship he had with Tom Brady and his consistency in catching the ball,
I think last night my biggest takeaway from night one, the first night of the draft, ruined Joe Burrow's career.
Why do you think that?
I think he's dead.
Why? Like,
Cincinnati's not a good place for young quarterbacks.
Well, I don't think Cincinnati's a good place for any player.
No, but I just mean, like, if you're a guy who you're a veteran, you have your system, you know how to maintain yourself, you know how to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you know how to do it. You've been through it before. You can afford to go to a bad team. You can take care of yourself at a bad team. You're like, this will be over in a couple of years.
Yeah.
He has to learn the ropes. He has to learn to be a professional football player.
So
Cincinnati's not a good place to do it.
All right.
We've seen the Browns kill how many young quarterbacks?
I'm gonna kill everyone.
I think
the Browns drafted Trent Richardson, who ended up flopping, but should have not flopped.
I think Cincinnati is the next place for it to happen. I think Cincinnati is the next franchise where people go to die.
Think about the Browns drafting Brandon Weeden. That was the same draft as Trent Richardson. Ugh. Brandon Weeden. What is that guy doing now? Probably selling insurance.
How much of a beast is Trent Richardson?
He was a great running back. Like when he came out, Heisman champion, right? Heisman winner, national champion.
When he looked like
a stud. The guy at Tennessee. What's his
name?
Derrick Henry. I always forget his name.
The monster.
Yeah, but Trent Richardson came out with that same type of height.
People thought he was going to be what Derrick Henry is.
Yeah.
And I don't think people. But see, I think Derrick Henry's height was less.
It was.
I don't think Derrick Henry. Nobody, like, if you were to pick, like, if neither one of their careers had happened yet and they were both coming out at the same time, Richardson was the guy.
Think about Derrick Henry. His whole career,
he's a monster.
His whole career though changed because Ryan Tannehill came over and they involved him in the offense.
Yeah.
Think about that. You're Derrick Henry, and people know you're good, and you're kind of like putting up mediocre numbers because your team's bad. But you bring in Ryan Tannehill, who, listen,
I thought he should have had a shot at MVP.
Listen, and how about like we talk about Ryan Tannehill, who should have had a shot at MVP, who changed the Titans' whole franchise around, who everyone thought was a bust because of his role in Miami.
Yeah,
I think that just proves that their coaching was terrible.
I don't like the system we found ourselves in now in the NFL, where somebody like Derrick Henry and somebody like Christian McCaffrey will never again win an MVP. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll ever
never
happen again.
Get paid like Adrian Peterson.
I don't think it'll ever happen again.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's fair because I actually here you go. I think that if Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers won the Super Bowl this year, McCaffrey would be the MVP.
I think Christian McCaffrey fell off late in the season.
Yeah, but he was like being triple teamed.
Right. I think for a while, he was the MVP, and that kind of tailored off for reasons. It tailored off for obvious reasons, but it tailored off. Derrick Henry was the guy the whole way through. He was the guy.
It's just hard because they get overshadowed by people like the quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, who comes out and puts ungodly things up.
The argument was there for a while for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And it should have been there for Derrick Henry like it was for Christian McCaffrey, and I felt like it never was.
Yeah, running backs don't get that love.
Christian McCaffrey got it.
Can we just talk about how glad I am that Christian McCaffrey actually got paid?
Yeah.
Like, as a running back...
I was scared.
People don't pay running backs anymore. Well, because their mileage is usually it's already pretty high. They've already hit that ceiling by year 3 or 4.
I thought they were gone. I thought he was gone. I was scared.
Everyone did. Everyone did.
I thought they were shipping him out for whatever they would ship him out for.
But kudos to that coaching staff 100%. and that owner just
I almost think he saved himself.
Why you say that?
When everybody was getting shipped out, when Cam Newton was getting shipped out, I think he just stayed out of it.
Yeah.
And he kept his head down, and I think it saved him. I think if he would have went to the press, I don't know how much press time he had.
Yeah.
But I think if he would have been one of those guys that speaks out like Greg Olsen, if he would have been one of those guys, Greg Olsen usually gave you his opinion. He was like, oh, well, it's a shame. He didn't say much. He was a professional, but he would tell you a little bit of what he thought. And I think if Christian McCaffrey would have been that guy, and would have said, man, me and Cam Newton are tight, and it's a shame he's leaving.
Yeah,
I think I might have axed him. I think he did a good job by keeping his mouth closed.
Yeah, I think all right. Get me on this, right? I really think that a lot of NFL players like to be in Carolina,
which is something I couldn't do.
Just
you know.
Yeah, but just think of this, right? All these NFL players, the taxes are low in the Carolinas. If you play for the Panthers, you could legitimately live in South Carolina and pay a lot less in taxes. All right, and you're gonna have a really nice place for a lot less money. But just think about Charlotte is a really. Have you ever been to Charlotte?
Yep.
It's a really nice city. Yeah. A lot of stuff to do, but it's really not that expensive compared to somewhere you go to Chicago or New York.
A big city, a major city.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of really cool things. I think that he genuinely wanted to be there, and I think that's why Cam Newton didn't want to leave. He did a lot for that community. Cam Newton should not be he shouldn't be overshadowed here because he did a lot for Charlotte. And kudos to Cam, who had a lot of negative publicity and press coming out of college, right? Call him Scam Newton. Mm-hmm. He turned his stuff around. It did a lot for that community, and that should be kind of reflected upon a little bit.
I saw it tossed around last year, 2 years ago. They were looking at expanding Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And two of the cities on the list were Portland and Charlotte.
That'd be great
for a baseball team,
dude. I would have been excited about that.
That'd be great.
I would love it. I would go to Charlotte and watch a baseball game.
I'm a baseball guy.
Let me tell you this: if baseball opens back up in the summer, we're gonna go to Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm a baseball guy.
We're gonna go, and I was really excited about the summer because I was really banking on us going to Boston and going to Fenway Park.
Yeah, it would have been
cool. I was sold on that plan.
Yeah, Fenway would have been really cool.
I just wanted to go.
I've always, Wrigley's on my list. Fenway's on my list.
I passed by Wrigley.
The Big House. I've always wanted to go see a game in Michigan.
I want to see a game in West Virginia at home.
That looks
when they do the
really
take
good.
Me home.
Going to see a game at Virginia Tech. They do the Inner Sandman entrance. Would be cool.
And here's the thing. I'm a big Carolina fan. I know you are too. I just want to go to these stadiums. I want to wear the home team shirt. Mm-hmm. Right, I want to be if I go to I want to be in a West Virginia shirt. I want to act like I've been a West Virginia fan my whole life, and I just want to live the traditions.
Right,
that's what I want to do. I want to go tailgate.
I know what South Carolina feels like.
Yeah, I know what Clemson's been like. I dated a girl who's a Clemson fan. Her whole family went to Clemson University,
and I know South Carolina.
I've experienced that tailgate,
and I know South Carolina and Clemson have two of the most electric entrances in college football.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. I don't care what you say.
As a South Carolina
the
fan,
Rock,
I know Clemson's
like,
Death Valley is electric.
Like when they come in on the bus and you see the camera and they come in and touch the rock, and run down the hill. I've ran down that hill. I went to, I don't know if you know this. I used to be really smart. Brain cells get dead and stuff. At Clemson, I went to.
Could you imagine him short legged trying to run down a hill?
I was thinking, I used to be really smart and I ran somewhere.
Alright, so when I was in the 8th grade, I was like 6'1". I was probably like 5'7" in the 8th grade. Alright, I didn't grow much in high school. But I went to Clemson Summer Science Engineering Camp.
Happy Feet.
And, well, listen, Summer Science Engineering Camp, and one of the things they let us do during the week, they put us on a bus and we got to go to Death Valley, and they had the rock uncovered in the case because now it's covered, and you could go touch the rock and run down the hill.
Gravity's
and
a whole thing, isn't it, Ron?
Listen, I almost busted my tail.
Gravity's a whole thing.
You don't really realize how inclined that thing is, and man, I wanted to roll at the end.
No.
But I was a lot more nimble, legs were a lot better shape. But no, the running down the hill was like probably the coolest experience ever. Caroline's it's electric too.
2001
is cocky, coming out the tunnel like.
Well, my team was trash.
No.
But, wait a minute. But
No,
you're like
you
Tom Brady. You got to be able to carry him.
There you have
I
it.
had 10 of the kills we had. The other was like 2 kills, 3 kills.
There you have it.
So, I think that's something I would like to do. Is just like,
I want to experience all of them so that I can say with certainty where the entrances are, because you hear ESPN broadcasters that go to the different.
Yeah.
There's the. They go to the different places.
Yeah.
They put South Carolina at the top of their list. They put Clemson at the top of their list.
Yeah.
But it's also like Penn State during a whiteout is supposed to be.
I bet that would
one
be
of the
fun.
greatest things in college football.
Yeah. Like I love watching those games around the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to a game where Southern Cal was actually a good team.
And like, if I could pick one, it would be not just Penn State in general. It would be the game they choose to do the whiteout.
They say if you're a Texas A&M fan, like their stadium, they're really fun.
The 12th man.
Yeah. Texas, like that'd be a fun place to watch a game.
How great was it when we almost saw the Bull Gore Ugga? You remember that?
I do remember that. UGA is a place I don't want to go to. They say it's trashy. Between the hedges, they say that the fans are trash. They say the same about the Swamp.
Yeah, they say it's a
They say
horrible
if you're
place to go.
And actually, they say the same about LSU. Like if you're a fan from the other team, like you don't really want to walk in your clothes down like towards the stadium or anything.
Well, I remember going to a South Carolina game. Me, my dad, my uncle, my cousin, all 4 of us went to a South Carolina Florida game.
Yeah.
That was on CBS, and this was in South Carolina's heyday.
Yeah.
And we won.
Yeah.
And I remember the Florida fans going down the stairs, leaving, and South Carolina fans were where you going? Where you going? And I was like, take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, when you were naming that list, I was going to say South Carolina fans.
I was like, take it easy.
They turn on their own people.
This is the second year you've been good. Take it easy.
Yeah. I remember when Tim Tebow was a quarterback at Florida, and I actually was on the side
South Carolina, I mean, I will say as a South Carolina fan, it's a horrible place to play.
Yeah.
They just get wasted on Fireball and talk trash to their own
and throw
fans.
stuff on the field. And it's a horrible place to play.
Yeah.
All right?
So, I was telling you, right?
Columbia is in general horrible.
I mean, it's a pretty tough place to be.
Where that sandwich shop is.
Agree and disagree,
Yeah,
Ron.
no,
South
I've
Carolina's
seen
a rough place, and the fans could do a lot better.
But I'm gonna tell you this: I've also been a Carolina fan in Death Valley when we beat Clemson, and I've also had things thrown at me. I've had all that stuff too. It happens everywhere. It's not just exclusive to what you've experienced. Now that I remember those happening too. But then I remember Tim Tebow coming in with Florida, and I watched him get off the bus, and I thought he was an offensive lineman. That's how big Tim Tebow was. All right, but I was on the side where I think I was going to see some girl, right? And she was her family was tailgating on that side, and the bus came.
Next on Walrus in the comic, Ron tries to convince us he likes women. Continue.
I was going to see girl thing.
I was going to see a girl, as I do quite often,
Yeah.
as I do every weekend.
Actually, unfortunately, all I have to do is seeing you guys every week.
Obviously not. I never see Brett. You see more than I do. Sound like he was jealous.
Let
It sounds
me
like,
be in your band.
I am kind of jealous, man. It sounds like y'all hang out like every day. I feel left out. That hurts my feelings.
And that
What is
reminds me,
omnipotent draft?
It's the move of the day. It's all God's. Unlimited gold, I think. Unlimited mana. But when he's like, I want to go to these things. I want to dress in their clothes. I want to do their things. I was like, he sounds like an overly proud girlfriend. I want to wear his stuff and just go to everything.
Can I have your hoodie if I can't hang out with you? If I can't go with y'all?
Can we
If I
talk
can't go with
about?
y'all tomorrow, can I at least have your hoodie?
Can we talk about
like
how
that?
mad it makes me that when you guys travel, when we traveled to Atlanta, you didn't want to eat the food of Atlanta.
I said
You didn't want to.
yes.
I
You didn't
want
wanna
to
experience it?
No, that isn't even what it is.
Hang on. We were gonna go to the varsity. You turned up to, but you made the entire vacation about eating. Man, let's go eat. Let's go see a sea run.
We'll go eat.
No, man, don't go eat. Let's go to this.
All the places to eat were in the city.
No, go explore the
We
city.
wanted to
not
walk,
just have a
do the
restaurant.
batting cage. The batting cage was cool. We went in the stores.
We did the
batting
batting. I wanted
cage.
to do that.
We wanted to
That's
see
cool.
the city, man.
Yeah, see the city, see the local stuff. You just want to go eat.
I wanted to eat good stuff. We didn't have much time to stay because Brett's dad made him come home early.
You're not gonna beat him.
You remember he only had like 2 days?
Also, the limited
Don't pin
time.
this on me because you wanted food.
The
Then
limited,
really, like we were going to stay for like 4 days.
the limited time
You
should have
hungry
meant
slab.
we force as much time into exploring the cities.
Alright,
we
how about
can.
Walrus
Alright, so
throwing me
how
under
about-
the bus?
How about this? How about this? We're going to Atlanta in August. Let's go for 4 or 5 days. Let's go to the aquarium, which is in downtown Atlanta. If you want to see the Civil Rights Museum, it's
They have a
right
nice
there as well.
cafeteria.
The aquarium does have a nice cafeteria,
Jesus.
but it's actually
Let's
near,
go see some local
the-
landmarks. Go see some bands.
the aquarium is near the varsity. We could go eat there.
We could do some open mics.
I'm good.
You can go do an open mic. They do have a lot of bands because they have like those auditoriums. We
You
can
get
go
up
there.
and do 5 minutes.
Me? I'm not
Yeah.
good. I don't want to.
Listen, you'll never see those people again.
That's
True.
fine.
Also, let me tell you about the best thing happening in Atlanta in August.
What?
Green Day.
Well, that's why we're going.
Oh, I know,
And
obviously.
I'm so excited. I hope they don't cancel it. I check every day on the tickets to see if they've rescheduled because that's my biggest fear right now. Because the state of Georgia is reopening,
Yeah.
and if they have a worse epidemic than they already had, like
They'll have to close everything.
yeah, they'll have to close everything down. It might not be open for August, and I'll be really sad
Yeah.
because I've been looking forward to this concert for a while.
UFC rescheduled to May 9th.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
Still Gaethje versus Ferguson. And can I tell you my opinion on that? I think it's dangerous for the UFC's
Where's it
bottom
gonna
dollar.
be at? Where's it gonna be at?
Location to be announced.
So
Undisclosed
it could be once again changed.
Undisclosed location.
Fight Island, bro.
Native,
Shang Tsung.
do it on a Native American place.
That's what he was gonna
He
do,
tried that.
and the government told him to stand down. ESPN told him to stand down, but I think the government put pressure on.
Probably so.
I don't know how much pressure.
He's not Vince McMahon. He
I
doesn't
don't
have
know.
the power.
I don't know how much pressure any entity on the planet can put on Disney. They seem like the most powerful thing in the
Hey,
universe.
You know that they said that Donald Trump reached out to the Florida's governor on behalf of Vince McMahon?
Yeah,
That's how that
100%.
happened. That's how that happened.
Obviously.
So,
Nobody knows sports. But Vince McMahon.
Yeah, 100%. That's obvious that he's the only guy that still gets privileges.
Dana,
He called his buddy.
Dana White, he should have done the same for Dana White though, because remember they had that MMA fighter as the big Trump fan, and like Trump was like always calling
Colby
him.
Covington.
Yeah, like why couldn't Trump do that for old Dana?
Because
Maybe
him and
Collins.
Vince McMahon have been tight since the 80s.
That's
Yeah.
true. He did a lot for Vince.
Also, Dana White seems kind of like a cook. I don't think I want to do him any favors.
He does kind of seem like that.
Dana White, I'm only doing this for you.
Why
I
do you
think-
do my-
I think that fight's really dangerous.
Yeah.
For the UFC's bottom dollar.
Why do you think that?
Because right now you have one of the greatest perceived matchups. You have one of the greatest matchups on paper in UFC history in Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Arguably two of the greatest.
Alright.
And right now, they're clean. Ferguson lost once early in his career. Nurmagomedov is undefeated. They are clean right now.
And
They
you're thinking
both
that
have an argument
they're
for
gonna
being...
lose a lot of money because it's not a live crowd.
No.
It's not like that?
They both have an argument for being the greatest.
Okay.
if Ferguson gets in that cage with Gaethje,
Right.
he has a bad night, and I'm not saying a lucky punch knocks him out. I'm saying he loses for 3 or 4 rounds and then Gaethje TKOs him in round 4. That Nurmagomedov Ferguson fight does not look as good anymore.
Maybe it shouldn't actually happen.
I mean, I think this fight happening is dangerous for the reason that it can really put a dent in Ferguson Nurmagomedov, and that, again, I'll say it again, in my opinion, is one of the greatest matchups you've ever had on paper.
I think what the UFC needs to do is they need to just cancel the pay-per-views, but do them live on ESPN live.
Just
do a multi-million-dollar pay-per-view live, and everyone's gonna watch.
That's like UFC has been using professional wrestling's age-old formula.
Yeah.
And they started using it around the time Chael Sonnen was the first to really use it. And you had Conor McGregor, Colby Covington. You had people come and use that formula. The dangerous part that UFC has, they can't use the formula exactly because professional wrestling has complete control over what happens.
Yeah.
UFC can't get behind somebody and build them because they can lose it any. Go ahead, Ron.
I do like how the UFC is with Conor McGregor, how they ratcheted up and made it more like of a show, though. I do like that.
But
and I think that's good for the fans.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't just build up behind one person because one fight can be done.
Right, because you don't know what's going to happen. In WWE, it's easy because this guy's going to win until I tell him he's not.
Yeah.
You know that.
I mean, they've done it. They've been able to do it with John Jones. They've been able to do it with Conor McGregor.
Well, you get
Ronda
fortunate.
Rousey. Yeah.
You get fortunate. But you see what happens?
I will show you the downside.
It's only stayed good. It's only stayed good with one fighter, John Jones.
Yeah. Because
he's the greatest of all time. You got lucky. It was fortunate that you got behind him. See what happened with Ronda Rousey? See what happened with Conor McGregor?
They rode Ronda Rousey for what, 3 or 4 years? That's a long time.
And then she crashed.
3 or 4 years though.
Well,
that's a lot of money they made off of.
Intercedes, y'all.
And then I have some breaking news about sports.
Yeah. Y'all won't invite me over, and every time I try to say something. But anyway, you know what happened when they tried to build somebody up who wasn't that great? The Baddest Man Alive
on planet
lost the next fight. He won one fight. Baddest Man Alive lost the next fight. He's a 2-time title holder.
UFC needs to be careful putting their big guys before.
Yeah.
I think you just tell Ferguson, wait until we can have the Nurmagomedov fight.
I think you tell Ferguson we're going to cancel this. Do Nurmagomedov. I can't say his name like you guys. And we're going to do it live on ESPN, free for everyone to watch, and the numbers will be there. Here you go. Breaking news. Let me tell you this. First off, Laramie Tunzel becomes the highest paid offensive line. 3 years, $66 million from the Texans.
You better give me some better news than that.
All right, but
sports news.
What I wanted to tell you is this.
The highest stakes.
Last night, round 1 of the draft
was canceled and redacted.
The highest viewership in history. 15.6 million viewers, up 37% all time.
Nobody's doing anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're stuck.
So they were able to make money off of it. So here's what. No, this is my point though. If however many I said, 15.6 million.
Dana White's already said it's on ESPN.
I know, but they need to make it not pay-per-view. Not ESPN like the Plus.
It's going on ESPN.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it's free for everybody.
Okay.
I thought he was making it like a pay-per-view, like how we guys have to pay $60.
No, it's on ESPN. So. He said it's free for everybody going on ESPN.
Well, that's exactly what it should be then.
Yeah.
Let's put it on. Get an aircraft carrier. Beat Shang Tsung, get your own island.
I don't like Dana White. I don't know. I start saying I don't like that Dana White tried to make it look like, oh, we both share blame. Maybe they did. We don't know the whole story. I feel like they kind of screwed Nurmagomedov on that because the story I heard from everybody I've heard it from Dana White, Ariel Helwani, Nurmagomedov himself. They told him the fight is going to be in Abu Dhabi. Get on a plane, get there right now before stuff starts closing down. He gets on a plane, goes to Abu Dhabi. Next thing you know, Abu Dhabi's going to start closing down. So like, get out of there, get out of there. We're not going to do it there. Get out of there. So he's like, all right, I'll just go home and be with my family until fight happens, until you call me and tell me what to do.
Yeah.
So he gets on a plane and he goes home to Russia.
All right.
Okay. While he's there, everything closes down and now he can't get out of Russia.
Sounds terrible.
They told him to go to Abu Dhabi, and he did, and then he got stuck, and Dana White's like, there were mistakes made on both sides. You told the man to go.
Gotta save face, man. You know that.
Also, he's from Dagestan.
So hopefully we're going to
I think
get
he
some.
lives in Russia now.
Does he? Probably not.
That's
He's
where I
real
would
proud
go.
of Dagestan.
Is he?
He is best friends with Putin, though.
True.
He is shit tight with
Also,
Putin.
it's wild how these MMA fighters, I guess because the only people there are just best friends with all their leaders.
Well, I mean, think about it. In that society, if you can manage to be best friends with Vladimir Putin, your life is set.
And he's a Russian. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a Russian hero too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So
it
so
looks
he'll-
better. It looks good for. It also looks good for Putin politically to be behind him.
He'll
Okay.
he'll be able to keep his money because he's friends with Putin.
Right.
Strategy.
But see,
Really.
I think it looks politically better for Putin too to be behind, to have this
Yeah.
Russian hero and like, look, I'm free.
Yeah.
Like he likes
Yeah.
me. I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
Like I think it.
The risk
I think
the risk is low too because it's like not like this is a Rocky movie.
I don't think it's just for Khabib. I think it goes both ways. I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks good for Putin
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, because they just like suspended all their constitutional election stuff. So
Right? Because Khabib is a good guy and he likes me.
Yeah, yeah. And
I really think that's what
have
it
you
is.
ever seen some of like Putin's like pictures? He's an interesting human being. He likes to go like
He's a weird
horseback
guy.
riding with no shirt.
He's a weird guy.
you know,
But
Time
I really
magazine.
think that's
He's
what
a
it
good
is.
guy.
I really
You
think
look like a guy who would go horseback riding with no shirt
200% he is.
and like a cowboy hat.
200% he is.
Can we
The way
make that
God
happen?
intended. What do you mean?
Can we make that happen? Like,
You want me to go horseback riding in a shirt? Hot? It's humid.
We have an announcement, ladies and gentlemen,
what is the announcement, Brett?
that the Walrus doesn't know about,
Oh God.
but we're making it here.
Oh no.
Join us on a special episode of The Walrus and the Comic next week. Like us on Facebook because we're going live.
Oh, we are.
We're going to do a live episode.
I like it. I've been asking to do this for so long, and now we are.
It is happening next week.
Who made the decision for this?
What
I
you
love
base
it.
this upon?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Walrus and Comic Sports Podcast. Give us a like, give us a follow, share, ask any questions, put any comments below. You can like us on YouTube and on Facebook. If there's anything you want to hear us talk about, just let us know. Also, if you make a comment or ask a question, this guy right here, he will answer you.
I'll
Person-
answer comments.
We don't have anyone who works for us to do this. Brett does it all.
That's right.
So make sure, and he doesn't want to be lonely, so ask him any question, really. He'll answer anything. He's got no shame.
That's right.
He'll tell you how many fingers he has.
I'll
if
tell you
if
everything.
really
Oh my
want.
God.
So,
I'll tell you how long it is.
I haven't
everything.
brought that one up in a while, so I wanted to do it today. But anyways, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Mine.
Give them the stare down.